makes me remember about some of the people that worked in Autodynamics, Ray.
Yeah.
And of course, Skip Barber. I remember him fondly. I built engines for him, Formula Ford engines. And Reeves Calloway, who's done very well for himself also. And he worked there for a short period of time, I think, building engines. Is that right, Ray?
I believe so.
Yeah, long time ago.
Then he raced, too. And then Skip Barber won the National Driving Championship in the...
in Formula Ford. Yep, that's correct.
Right?
Yep.
Yeah, 1969, that might have been.
Yeah, I think that's right.
Yep, and his engine blew on the morning of the race, and you changed it just in time for him to win the race.
Yes, just in time. And I was really bummed out because I had to rebuild the engine, put it back in the car, and then Skip won. And of course, they do a tear down afterwards. I wanted to go get a beer, get a drink or something. I had to stay there until like 7 o'clock at night until they checked everything out. Got back to the banquet, and I was late. Cocktail, the bar had closed. So you're right. I was very happy that it won, but I was kind of bummed out and lacking of sleep too, I might add. Those are the days.
Absolutely.
And I told Ray the other day the most fun I ever had in my life is with race cars, and I do it all over again, and thankfully I got paid to do it. So that was even better. So
You were working with Ray and got paid?
yeah.
What do I sense wrong here about this?
You shouldn't have let Sam know that.
In fact, in 1968, Sam, I think when you came in either 8th or 10th overall, I had all my winnings, and as many people know, the crew chief gets 10% of what the car wins. At the end of the season, I got $4,000 from Ray Caldwell and his partner, Fred Jackson, and I did the smartest thing I've ever done. It was down payment on a house in Marblehead.
That's just terrific.
The hardest is to buy the first house, and I'm sitting in my living room now, 5 or 6 houses later, and realizing that's where that started from. So, good life.
Yes.
That's really nice to hear, John. What are the cars? Are there cars in the background? What is in the background?
Bob.
Yeah, Sam. That's my collection of die-cast, mostly NASCAR, but I also sell a lot of slot cars. And
Oh, excellent.
I think this is a Mark Donahue car.
Yeah.
You probably recognize this. Says it's Bridgehampton from '68.
I recognize the back of the car.
Yes, and
Because you had to see it so often.
yeah. This is an Oscar Kovaleski from Moseport in '68. So this
Oscar
is
did so much to bring racing to kids and grown-ups too.
yeah. And what's this one? This is another McLaren. I don't know who actually drove that one. But that's just some of the cars we deal with anyways. I was just playing around with them, just so you could see them anyways. Didn't mean to distract, but not.
I'll give you a challenge, Bob. You have to come up with a D7 pretty quickly.
I have to do a search on that one, yeah.
It's got to sit right on the real thing once you finish it.
Cars to drive. And speaking of models, I have models of the car I finished fourth and set the lap record with temporarily. And I had the 512 Ham Ferrari, which was a 72 car. And it was the best car I ever drove. Not great, not withstanding. It was really a piece of work. Beautiful car, and great in every respect.
Besides the Can-Am car, Sam, what else did you drive that Ray Caldwell built?
Well, we built a Formula 5000 car. The leftover parts. Ray probably embarrassed enough to not recall this. We tested it in my grandmother's driveway. And we took the car up to Edmonton and entered it in a national race. And it was so much faster than anything else that we faked it a little bit. We sort of drove about 2/3 of our potential. But it was embarrassing because we really shouldn't have been in the race. But people came up to us afterwards and said, great race, great race. Having no clue about how dumb it all was. But other cars, the D9, I guess, was the Nassau car. They entered, I think, 6 cars, a team of 6 cars. And that was really something to be proud of, even if Red Prize was screwing us at every opportunity.
And don't forget Challengers.
Yeah.
What?
What about acid dipped car?
Oh, the Challenger, yeah. Well, everybody, there it is. That's the backup car. 77 is the one you want. The acid dipping was de rigueur in those days, and we put ours in after Gurney had put there we go.
There it is.
There it is. That car is still around, and it has not been touched, knock on wood. Not even a fender bender. It fell into the hands of a guy out in California who raced it in they had the series TransAm cars, and he won race after race with it. So we never won a race, but the car has won 20 races now, something like that. And the acid dipping was Gurney acid dipped his car, and we said, well, we'll have ours done too, but just a little bit more. Unfortunately, it wasn't so great because there's the Gurney Sweet Savage car. Very nice. You've got great cars there. Very nice. A great looking car. And the team that we beat in the points, Gurney's team, was quite neat. But the acid dipping thinned all of the metal down a certain percentage, and we just asked for too much. And Laguna Seca, for the first race of the year, the TransAm, I was talking with John Tamanis, the chief tech inspector, and we were the last guys to go through tech, and we gave him a beer, and he leaned on the roof as he began to suck the beer down. The roof dented in. And he said, oh boy, guys, I'm afraid we've got a lot of work ahead. So we went and we got a dealer downtown who had a Dodge Challenger, the exact right car. And we got the car permission to cut the roof off this car. And the dealer was a little nonplussed. But we had the inside track with the guy who was running the racing program. So there wasn't much he could do about it. But then when the race began, and the transmission had a kind of casing over it that mounted to the floor, and halfway through the race, I realized that the floor was cracking apart.
Oh, jeez.
It was an adventure from there on. I think we finished 6th, but it was a pretty tough race. Because they have that corkscrew, and that really, I could look down and see the road below easily. I mean, the gap in the chassis was at least 4 inches wide. Yet the whole thing continued to go, so I continued to drive it.
Oh, jeez.
This is now this says it's Peter Rebson on there, but didn't you drive one that's very similar?
I drove that car.
That car, okay. So they've got Rebson's name on it.
Rebson would drive the Indy 500.
Oh, okay.
I got his ride. One
Oh, okay. Good.
And that's Lime Rock, and
Yep.
won the race by about 10 seconds after 300 miles.
So they all saw that end. Everybody else saw that end.
Well, it was really a great day for me. And incidentally, Carroll Shelby, it was the last win for his whole organization through the years and everything. That win stayed there. I finally got out of the car. I had to be helped out of the car. It was so hot and everything.
Yep.
I got out of the car and wandered around looking for Shelby. To be congratulated, frankly, looking for him. And I found him and I said, "What did you think of the race?" And he said, "I didn't go to the race." He said, "I had a bimbo with me and she was more interesting than the race." So here I am thinking it's one of my greatest races.
Wow. Well, it's all about priorities, right?
Yeah. Shelby's a hell of a guy. Was a hell of a guy.
You can't hear him.
Oh, yeah. Sam,
Yeah.
do you have a favorite racetrack?
Oh, yeah, it's definitely Lime Rock.
Really?
I mean, obviously I live here and I've had some of my successes here.
Yeah.
But what I really like about it is it doesn't have a slow turn. And hairpins so separate the cars, you know, because the horsepower really counts. And
Yeah.
Lime Rock, everything is fast. And a little known fact is that Don Fitch was involved in the early going there. And he had a friend named Bill Milliken. And Bill Milliken came and looked at the preliminary drawings. He said, "What you got to do is let the turn widen out as it goes out onto the next straight. Don't keep it cribbed in. Let it flow out." And if you look at the diagram of the track, you'll see that all of the turns have this little sort of relaxing of the tightness of the turn. And that's what keeps people saying that it's the rhythm they like about the track. Because it really has a built-in sort of secret aspect to it. Plus, it's 10 miles away from home. And there's an organization now that's bought out Skip, and I'm part of the new organization. Try to keep these boys on the straight and narrow. They have a lot of good ideas. We'll see what happens.
I'm hearing that there's interest in building a museum there, Sam. Is that correct?
That's correct, but I wouldn't count on it happening very soon.
What sort of a museum would it be? Would it be just Lime Rock, or is it something else?
It was completely up in the air.
Okay.
Just on a wish list of a lot of things, it was there. It would be so neat to have it there. And Skip has so many contacts that he could, I think, round up enough people to get it off the ground.
How is Skip physically?
Well, he's old.
I know about that.
Yeah, me too. Skip, I would say, is in good shape as he's ever been.
Well, that's great.
Very excited to be doing this deal, which was for a lot of money. So that would make anybody happy. But Skip is an extraordinary man, and he is very fair to everybody and never loses control of the situation. And he, through the years, he's become a very good public speaker. He wasn't at first. And now he visits with me a good deal here at the studio. He's just a good guy to have around as a pal, as well as a professional track owner.
You built the Formula Fords.
The Formula Ford was after I retired from racing, and years went by, and somehow or other I decided it would be great to get back in a car. And so working with Don Breslauer, who is just the best you can imagine. He can do everything from engines to aerodynamics, and just a great guy to be around. So we bought a Formula Ford from a guy and began to modify it right away. And for one thing, we changed the color to dark green. was very pretty car. It meant a lot to me at that point in my nascent career to have a car that was good looking. And Don knew exactly what I was after with the car. And we only ran it at Lime Rock, and we didn't race it. It was all lap time. But the lap times got to be pretty good, surprisingly competitive with the real cars at that point. So I was pretty proud of that, and remain so now that those days are over. I can't, not to bore you with my details, but I can't drive anything anymore because of the depth perception shot. But I hitched a ride with a guy that had a Porsche, one of the super Porsches, a $600,000 one, and he gave me 5 laps at full speed, and I was surprised to find that I wasn't scared. The guy was so good that I just sat back and enjoyed it. And that is interesting because I never went around there and not scared. So that was something that came around. This was a delight. You know, the acceleration of a car falls into various categories, but the Ford had almost no acceleration, but it had this top speed. If you could keep that, because Lime Rock has nothing but fast turns, no stupid hairpin. It was really something to have that car be that fast. And I had a crash that it's the only time I was ever hurt in the car. Wiped out some parts of my right hand, which recovered only to be smashed up again, getting out of bed. So things can go anywhere rather easily.
Can I interrupt and just say that this has been fabulous? This is our first museum video conference, and I'm thrilled we were able to do it with you, Sam, and with Ray. And I think we all ought to just say thank you very much and sign off gracefully before we all faint. This was the first one, so I think we've done great to pull it off as well as we did. Thank you very much.
Thank you for having me be part of it.
Well, thank you, Sam.
It's been a memorable afternoon. Appreciate all of you for being on the call.
Terrific.
Oh, thank you for asking me. And Ray, also thank you. And Carroll.
You're welcome.
It's been great. Super. Thank you. Thank you all. Take care.